Hi friends! Welcome back to All Abilities Playgroup, where we love to celebrate our differences. I'm Ashley, one of the librarians with the Grand Prairie Public Library, and I'm so glad you're here with me again this month. So April is Autism Acceptance Month, and that means we're going to learn a little bit about autism. 1 in 68 children are diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. That means nearly everyone knows someone who is autistic. But what does that mean? Let's find out. Every day, our brains interpret or understand the things we see, smell, hear, taste, touch, and experience. Autism affects how the brain works and can make it difficult for some people to talk, understand others, or calm themselves down when they feel worried or stressed. So a friend with autism is just as smart as other kids, but they may have a harder time making friends, following directions, or dealing with change. They may be very sensitive to loud sounds, certain textures or foods, but may really enjoy the way it feels to flap their hands or spin around. Autism is not a disease, and it is not contagious. It is something that some of our friends are born with, and it means that their brains operate a little differently. The most important thing to know is that being a good friend to an autistic kid is just like being a good friend to anyone else. But it can be nice for your friend to know that you understand autism and want to support them. So here are a few tips. It can be hard for autistic kids to make friends, so invite them to play with you or sit with you at lunch. Ask them questions and tell them about yourself and the things you like. Our friends that have autism may not answer right away when you talk to them. Just be patient and wait for their response. They also may not look at you when you talk to them, but it doesn't mean they're not listening. Just remember, a good friend is always helpful, kind, and fun. All right, now that we know a little more about our friends who have autism, I want to share a very special book with you. It's called All My Stripes, A Story for Children with Autism. Zane ran home as fast as he could. "Nobody gets me, Mama." Mama hugged Zane. He began to tell her about his bad day. "This morning in art class, the teacher started a hoof painting project. I didn't want to get paint on my hooves, so the teacher gave me a paintbrush. All the other zebras noticed and were making fun of me because they didn't understand why I wouldn't use my hooves." Mama said, "I bet that made you feel different from the rest of the group." Zane replied, "It did, but paint is just too weird to touch." During math class, the fire alarm blared loudly. While the children in my class were getting in line quietly, I hid under the desk screaming and covering my ears. The class left without me, and I was scared until the firefighters found me. When the class came back from lunch, everyone was putting their lunch boxes in their cubbies. Some classmates were talking about a video game I play all the time, but I didn't know how to start talking to them. I started talking about all the things I knew about the game, but since I was staring at the floor, nobody knew I was talking to them. When the other kids walked away, I started talking louder. I really wanted them to hear me, but everybody was getting ready for science class. We sat down for science and were learning about the planets. Our teacher gave us each a planet to draw, but I wanted to create my own. When it came time to present, I felt different from the rest of the class again. My teacher loved my planet and said, "Whatever floats your boat." I spent the rest of the afternoon looking for a boat in the classroom. Zane was crying. "How come all anyone sees is my autism stripe?" Mama carried Zane over to the mirror. "When I look at you, I see many different stripes. If one of them were missing, you wouldn't be the same." "I see your pilot stripe. When we get lost in the city, you always remember the way home." "Your caring stripe makes you act kindly toward others. When your classmates think it's funny to bully other kids, you come to the rescue." "Your honesty stripe lets me always trust your word. When other parents have to worry that their kids aren't telling the truth, I know you always are." My favorite stripe is your curiosity stripe. When all the other kids are falling asleep in class, you always want to know more. I love when you come home and tell me everything you learned. Sometimes you ask me questions and I don't even know the answers. Mama pointed out the rest of Zane's amazing stripes. The more stripes she explained, the better Zane began to feel about himself. By the time she was finished, Zane loved himself again. Zane ran outside feeling the warmth of the sun. Finally, he felt proud of all his stripes. He said, "There's more to me than just my autism stripe. It's just part of me. The other parts make the whole me. I love each stripe because without them, I wouldn't be me." I love this story. Isn't it so cute? I love Zane. And parents and caregivers, it has a note to parents and caregivers, and it also has a reading guide. So it talks about the different aspects of ASD, autism spectrum disorder, and how it kind of correlates with the story. So you can check that out from our library. We have a couple of copies of that. And I also wanted to let you know about our parenting section. Our parenting collection offers books about child development, early learning, and parenting skills. We have a wide range of materials from baby sign language to potty training, and in this collection we also have many books on autism. So whether your child has recently been diagnosed or has a friend with autism, check out these valuable resources. All right, friends, well, thank you so much for joining me again this month, and I will see you in May for another All Abilities Playgroup. Bye! Don't forget, if you have questions or concerns about your child's development, or if you need to be connected to other community resources, please contact Help Me Grow North Texas by calling 844-689-5437.